Okay, I'm going to start off again, and this time we're looking at a mitre flange. Now, mitre flanges can be hard at times. They're excellent at saving time when you're trying to put together sheet metal, but sometimes it can be just hard to remember what piece needs to go where. So this is one video that definitely is worth looking at and looking at the whole way through, and it's often worth coming back to for reference. Now, in all fairness, even myself, if I don't use mitre flange for extended periods of time, I do look it up as well just to make sure that I can get it right. What it might seem to be easy in your head might not always work out. So with my mitre flange, I'm going to start off with my top plane once again, and I'm just going to sketch on my top plane. I'm going to take my rectangle, and I think we had said we had a 200 by 100 rectangle. So I'll let it in. And then the next one is 100. And then I'm going to go to my sheet metal and I'm going to click base flange tab. When my base flange tab comes up, I see I have it preset to 5mm. I'm going to leave absolutely everything else there and click OK. Now we have our actual plate. The plate itself has no material applied, so I'm going to apply material. And I'm going to say it's 304 stainless here. We can see that it's 304 stainless. Click apply, closed. The only other thing I'll point out is that we do have an equation, and since it's sheet metal, that equation is a thickness equation of 5mm. Back up to our sheet metal features, and you can see on our sheet metal toolbar, we have already completed our base flange tab. Now on our other tutorial, we looked at an edge flange, and we also looked at a sketch bend. So this time we're looking at a mitre flange, and then in later tutorials I'll be doing exercises that incorporate all the different features for the sheet metal. So my mitre flange, I'm going to click, and straight away it's asking me for a sketch. So I want to make my sketch. I'm going to click on an edge, and it turns to that edge for me. Now I'm in sketch mode. You can see my sketch tab highlight for myself, and then I am clicking with my line. Now I want my mitre to act like a mitre. So think of a mitre in wood, or where it would a group of joints would come together. I am going to draw up, and I'm going to draw out. So I'm making this lip, and press escape then to get out, making this lip the whole way around. Clicking my smart dimension. And on my smart dimension, I'm putting in 20, and I'm making a lip of 20 as well. So measurements don't really make a difference. It's actually the function of the features what we're trying to see here. So you can see it is on one plane. It's traveling out on this front line, comes up and out. I'm going to close off my sketch. And because I had selected my mitre beforehand, from here, you can see my mitre now comes up. If not, I could just make my sketch and then have clicked my mitre if I wanted. Now, I seem to have a few different settings here. I'm going to take down my gap distance to 0.25. And then I am going to give my position as the inside position. And now you can see I've one edge that looks fairly good. But to make it a mitre, I need these at 45s. So, it's one edge up and across. Select another one. I'm going to select this one. And see the edge that I'm taking is the edge away from where my sketch is. Now you can see what I mean by a mitre. It comes up, joins, and then comes out at a 45 cut. What catches a lot of people is they don't select this edge. They select this edge, which stops the mitre from forming. That is where a lot of people get stuck. And even when I am using the feature myself, I often have to think of that and have to think of it strong. It's the opposite edge is the edge we go. Well, does that mean then that we can't put a mitre on this side? No. You can come along, you click this edge, mitre happens here. This edge, mitre happens here. And then click that edge, and a mitre happens there to join it. The trick with the whole feature is to select the opposite edge. That's the important piece. Click OK. And there we have our mitre tub. If I click on my base and click flatten, that is the shape that my flat pattern is going to be. Once it's folded, then it makes this mitre. There's another few little bits of issues. You can see that this kind of deform here happens. If I go back into my mitre flange, right click and edit feature, you can see I am given options down here for custom bend allowances. And my K factor, I'm given trim bends on the sides. There's lots of different options we can use to tidy this up later on. Those options and a lot of those options are in the corners up here. At a later stage, I'll do a tutorial just solely based on those corners. Back to our mitre flange. If we wanted to take an edge away from our mitre flange, we can click on that edge and you can see it can take away this edge and this edge. What about if we just want that edge back? Take off this one. It gives us a mitre that way. If we just want that edge off and this edge on, can't happen. We have to be very exact of where we put our sketch so that we can get our corners to mitre in as required. If we wanted a 3-corner mitre, click, unfold or flatten. You can see there's the shape for a 3-corner mitre. As I said, there's more to this when we go looking at our corners and our closed corners and break corners and corner reliefs that allow us to change the way we bend these corners together. Okay, thank you. See you in the next one.